Imagine living in a village where the silence of the mountains is only broken by the gentle sound of cowbells. In remote and almost unexplored regions, in the most hidden parts of Switzerland, there are small villages that seem to have come straight out of a fairy tale. These places are far from the hustle and bustle of big cities, with landscapes so breathtaking they look like living paintings. Life in these villages is simple, yet full of meaning and challenges. The people who have chosen to live in these isolated corners of the Alps know that their lives follow a different rhythm, more peaceful, more introspective, without haste, without noise, and with a deep connection to nature, traditions, and the cold that dominates the region for months on end. The experience of living in these villages is unique, marked by a routine that is both a lifestyle choice and a direct response to the natural environment that surrounds them. But before we begin, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It's free and helps me to keep bringing you new content. Switzerland is known for its stunning landscapes, often depicted on postcards and in travel advertisements. However, in some more remote areas, the same mountains that enchant tourists and adventurers become natural barriers that separate small villages from the rest of the world. Scattered throughout the Alps, these communities are situated in deep valleys, on steep slopes, or on high plateaus, where the rugged terrain prevents the expansion of cities and access becomes a difficult task. Some of these villages do not have traditional roads that connect them directly to other locations. Reaching them can mean walking along narrow trails, taking a cable car, or navigating sharp curves on winding roads that snake along cliffs. When winter arrives, these routes become even more dangerous and often impassable. In some cases, the only way to reach these villages is by facing the difficulties of a challenging journey, often with no guarantee that access will be possible during the coldest months of the year. The very location of these villages, often far from large urban centers and surrounded by forests, lakes, and mountains, creates a sense of real and palpable geographic isolation. For a simple trip to the nearest hospital, for example, the travel time can exceed an hour, and that's in ideal conditions. The natural isolation of these villages has, over time, been a factor that has helped to preserve ancient traditions, customs, languages, and ways of life. The geography of the region, which limits the mobility of people, also protects these communities, maintaining a rare tranquility and calmness, especially in a world that seems to be accelerating ever faster. Here, nature is the great authority. It dictates the rhythm of life and imposes limits that the inhabitants respect but also know how to make the most of. Living in one of these villages is not an option for everyone. It requires resilience, adaptation, and a clear acceptance that nature is in charge. Life in these remote places is arduous, especially during the winter. But for those who choose this way of life, there is an indescribable beauty in the serenity of the mountains, in the soft sound of the wind cutting through the snow, and in the intense connection with the past. Many of the inhabitants of these villages have a deep connection to the land that seems to have been lost in many other parts of the world. They cultivate the land, care for animals, and preserve ancient traditions that have been passed down through generations. In many of these villages, life revolves around agriculture, animal husbandry, and the production of artisanal cheeses. The sale of these products takes place at local markets, or when access permits, they are transported to larger villages, where they can be sold at higher prices. Many houses have small gardens where residents grow their own food. Preserves are made, meats are smoked, and food is prepared for the more difficult months when access to markets and fresh produce becomes more limited. Manual labor is a constant. Caring for animals, chopping firewood, clearing snow, maintaining work equipment in good condition. These are daily tasks that are part of everyone's routine, and each family member from childhood learns to handle these activities. Children, in turn, grow up in direct contact with nature and with the freedom that this type of life offers. They learn from an early age to appreciate the calmer and simpler pace of life, but also the responsibility that comes with the need to be self-sufficient. Schools are small, with few students, and in many cases, children need to travel to neighboring villages, facing long journeys on foot, by bus, or even by cable car. The community is small and everyone knows each other very well. This proximity creates a strong spirit of collaboration and mutual aid. When someone needs something, neighbors quickly appear to help, whether it's to carry supplies or to offer support in times of need. Traditional celebrations still hold great significance in these villages. Religious festivities, harvest festivals, and other local events continue to be important moments of unity when residents gather to sing, dance, and share meals. It is in these moments that traditions are reinforced, bonds of belonging are renewed, and the sense of community is revitalized. On quieter days, when there are no events or festivities, life goes on at a more reflective and silent pace. Many inhabitants spend their time reading, sewing, doing crafts, or simply observing the mountain scenery through the windows of their homes. Silence and serenity prevail, interrupted only by the sound of the winds or the bells of cows. There is no rush, there is no traffic, there is no city noise, just peace. Even with some modern conveniences such as electricity, radio, and even internet access in some more remote areas, the lifestyle in remote Swiss villages remains deeply rooted in tradition. Modernity has arrived discreetly, helping with everyday tasks without altering the essence of the villages. Many houses, which were once heated exclusively by wood-burning stoves, now have modern heating systems. But ancient cooking and housekeeping techniques still prevail. Technology, when present, functions as a support, but does not replace traditional methods. In some cases, this preservation of ancient customs has become a source of pride for residents, who, even with the passing of years, seek to rescue and value what they learned from their grandparents. In recent years, some young people who left the villages to study or work in the cities have decided to return. They have brought new ideas, new knowledge, and also new ways of generating income, such as rural tourism and the marketing of handicrafts over the internet. However, even with these innovations, what matters most is preserving the connection to the past. For these people, the balance between the old and the new is what keeps the villages alive and vibrant. Progress is seen as a tool, not a threat, and it is this careful approach, which respects roots, that allows the villages to continue to thrive even in an increasingly connected and fast-paced world. Living in an isolated village in the Swiss mountains is undoubtedly a challenging life choice that requires resilience, patience, and a deep connection to nature. But for those who choose this path, there is an indescribable beauty in living in tune with the environment, in a space where time is not measured only by clocks, but by the seasons, the changing landscapes, and the rhythm of daily tasks. This lifestyle requires a constant commitment to the present, with no rush to reach the future. Life in Swiss villages is a lesson in simplicity, dedication, and connection, which many of us, in search of success and progress, end up forgetting. These inhabitants teach us that true balance is not about having more, but about knowing how to value what really matters: connection with nature, with the people around us, and with our roots. In an increasingly digital and fast-paced world, the isolated villages of Switzerland remind us of the importance of slowing down, living more simply, and reconnecting with the essentials. If you enjoyed today's video, please support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement is what keeps us going. Don't forget to check out the video that's on your screen now, and I'm sure you'll find it fascinating. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.